And we are live. Hey,
Hey,
everybody.
everybody.
Santi
Yeah.
here from the Arizona Ghost Riders channel. And I'm here with Richard Bentoski from Small Caliber Arms Review. And why don't you say hi, Richard?
Hi.
So we have a lot of people in already. So, hey, everybody. How you doing? Good? I guess there's no mic going the other way. Sorry. So, Richard, you look sharp today. Are you in your saloon?
I am in the saloon. There's the bar back there. I got my George Washington crossing the Delaware.
Awesome.
It's a nice day out here in Ohio. A little cool, but
we're going to talk about this a little bit more. Richard actually built a saloon that you can shoot from.
Yep.
Never heard of the like, other than in like cowboy action shooting, but this is different. This is on his property. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. But why don't we start off with telling us a little bit about how you got started with your channel and what your channel's about, because some of my subscribers don't know.
It's like it says, it's Small Caliber Arms Review, and small caliber is anything 50 caliber and smaller. So I've got a pretty good range I can cover there. But I started kind of, collecting guns years ago and decided, I need a reason to go out and shoot them. I don't really need a reason, but it gives me an excuse to go out and shoot them and to get more, because I can get a firearm, review it, add it to my collection, and, tell everybody a little bit about it.
Cool.
A little bit of the leather work I've done there. It kind of got me going in a whole bunch of different directions too, just, starting to do the gun reviews and stuff. But, I mean, it was kind of like my daughter was doing a YouTube channel, kind of a gamer's channel. And, I seen she had a little bit of a success with it pre-adpocalypse. So I thought, maybe I can get into this and get a little bit of return on my investment. But I hit just before adpocalypse, and adpocalypse changed everything for me.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know what the adpocalypse is, basically, well, Richard, why don't you tell them what the adpocalypse was? Because you joined right around that time, didn't you?
Yes, right around that time. I think
myself.
I guess it was the second one, but it was a bunch of channels got demonetized. So if you had anything to do with gun content, a lot of different content got demonetized on YouTube. But I thought, I'm probably not going to make millions doing this anyway, so it's a hobby,
Right. Yeah, and I think that's still the problem, right? Because I don't know if there's any creators out there. You'll know that just a couple of days ago they came up with this new thing. When you upload a video, it asks you certain questions, categorical questions on what you think this is. So, is there any violence? And one of the big old topics is, are there any firearms in it? I'm like, wow, that's pretty telling. So, yeah, a lot of advertisers just don't want to do the whole firearms thing. It's unfortunate. So
there are some out there that still do, and I appreciate them. But I wish they weren't so scared of it,
Yeah, I know what you mean. I hear you. So speaking of guns, you explained this to me the other day, because sometimes you shoot what I would consider large caliber guns, but you said something really important to me that I didn't quite understand. So, because I said, hey, you shot this 45 auto, and you said
it's below 50 caliber, so it's still considered small arm.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's amazing. I don't know if anybody else knew that, but that kind of really opens up your channel a lot. I mean, as long as you're shooting a 50 caliber out there or a mountain howitzer, you have a lot of guns to review.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. It's cool.
And I do want to get up to 50 cal, but it's a lot pricier when you get to that size.
How much do those cost anyway?
Actually, 50 caliber is not all that expensive. I've seen them as low as $3 a round.
Yeah, really. The gun, that big one that has the recoil.
Like I mean, you can get a 50 caliber, 50 BMG for. I've seen them for attachments that go onto your AR-15 lower. You can get for around $1,500. It's a single shot. But when you get up into the manufactured ones, the bigger ones, the Barretts and stuff, you can go as low as $5,000. I don't have one. It'll probably be a long time before I do get one.
Well, for a family of 4, that's all your stimulus checks. So, no, don't do that. Santee did not say to do that.
No.
Santee told me to go out and buy a BMG with all her. Oh boy, sorry guys. So if y'all haven't seen it, you got to watch his channel. He's cool. He dresses up in some outfits that are that are prevalent to the firearm he's shooting. The last one that I remember was the machine gun, and you dressed up in the pinstripe suit. I thought that was really terrific. And you threatened yourself, which was kind of interesting.
I did.
That was good. But that wasn't your gun. You borrowed that from somebody, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate enough to, I work construction full time, and I work with a lot of guys who are really into firearms. So a lot of them, they know I do the YouTube channel. A lot of them subscribe to me, and fortunately, a lot of them will let me borrow their guns. I supply my own ammo, and I make sure when I return it to them, it's cleaner than it was when they bought it, hopefully anyways. And, return it in good condition or anything. And it's a good benefit because, trust me, it gets really expensive.
Well, no. So here's the thing: you go into great detail about how to break the guns down and how to clean them. Do they teach you that, or do you just say, "Thanks for the gun. Let me go and do some research on it"?
I do try to do a lot of my own research on it, just because I want to look back into the history of it, who manufactured it, and some of the guys I buy the gun or borrow the guns from, they bought it because it looked cool, and not necessarily concerned with who manufactured it, when it was manufactured, or anything like that. And I try to give a little bit of that information to it, in the video too. So most of the research I've done myself. They'll tell me the experiences they've had with the gun, whether they've had problems with it. And sometimes, they might say, "Hey, look into this because I have a problem with it."
I like how you do that. I was telling a friend of mine, Mitch, who was sitting in your seat last week, not literally sitting in your seat because you're in a different state, but yeah. Anyway, I was talking to him last week about the fact that what I like is how you'll be shooting and you'll say, "Oh, wow, okay, what's going on here?" And that brings us into your world of what you're experiencing. And it sort of like Hickok 45, if you know who he is. It's got that same sort of feel to it, where now I'm in your world, and you're not just blocking me out of that and telling me later, "Oh, by the way, I had this jam."
Right.
Now I'm seeing the jam, and I'm seeing what you're going through. So very, very well done. I like that. Keep it up.
I try to show, if I have a problem with it, you're probably going to have a problem with it too, or it might be a problem that you don't want to deal with if you're looking to purchase that gun also, and think, well, he had that many problems with it. I think I'll look for something different.
Yeah.
So try to give an honest opinion of what I think of the firearm, and let somebody else make a decision. Right.
I mean, some people may be okay with it, and just say, "Well, I want the gun, so I don't care."
Yeah.
Probably a modification out there anyway for it. So
yes.
So Richard has here we go. Living history comes alive. Hey Drew, how you doing? He really enjoyed your social distancing one, which I showed a little on my video. So I thought that one was really good too. I thought that was great. Great use. I don't know if you all know, but actually Richard is triplets. No, he's not. He did all that as green screen stuff. It was really well done. So that was fun. Good sense of humor. So appreciate it. Which is why you're on here, because if you didn't have a good sense of humor, we wouldn't get along. So because I'm very serious. I don't know if you all know that.
All the time, I can tell.
Always serious. Yeah, he never jokes around. Right. Okay, now we got that out of the way. So one of the questions I was going to ask, let's go back to the fact that you're sitting in a saloon that you built that you can shoot out the back door of.
Yes.
Pistol range or rifle range? Both?
The saloon is the pistol range. I do have a rifle range too. I got a 100-yard target set up there. I can stretch it out. I can go probably 250 to 300 yards on my property. But
I'm going to try to show this. I'm having a little trouble with StreamYard's share screen feature. Maybe I've been drinking too much. I don't know. But let me see if I can just sort of share this. It may cover the whole screen, but I want you to see those are the holsters that he makes. We're going to talk about those in a minute, but I want you to see the saloon. There you go. That's from the range, and that's what it looks like. Pretty cool. All right, well, we'll look at those later. Did everybody see those? Did you see those? They show up? Did they show up? Hello?
I can see them.
You can see them. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Sorry, I'm still kind of juggling the whole split screen thing. So anyway, yeah, I watched your Facebook post as you built that thing. Pretty amazing. Why did you decide to make it that exact size? I mean, what was the thought behind that?
Well, there wasn't originally. I just wanted a platform to shoot from so I could get out of the weather if it was a little inclement outside or whatever. And originally it was just going to be 3 sides with the roof over it just to keep me out of the rain or the really intense summer sun. And I thought, you know what? I've been watching your channel for a couple of years now, and I thought, I like Western guns. I got Western guns. I'm going to make it look like a saloon and kind of use it as a set as well as an actual place to come shoot at.
Yeah, I think it's pretty neat. I think it's pretty neat. I maybe have 10 feet on my property. I don't think that's quite, a 1/16 of an acre, but yeah, I can't build much of a saloon there, but I think it's really impressive. Sort of a long-term goal for you is to have more range, right? I mean, more of a range that you can shoot from.
I would love to actually build a public range, or maybe a private with a membership, depending on what the market likes or whatever. I guess there's problems with both. I've been to private ranges. I've been to public ranges. They've each got their benefits, but I would love to build a public range with an actual saloon on it too. Then you got the alcohol and firearms and.
I don't know if that'd work.
Right.
Yeah, shooting and guns. It was tested in the 1800s and it didn't work out so well. So I don't know.
Yeah.
However, there was a law that was almost passed in Arizona years ago where they allowed guns to go in saloons again, but I think now, even if you have a concealed carry permit, you may have trouble getting in. Anyway, not important. We're going to talk about that. Sorry. So that's pretty cool. So I showed some leather work earlier. I wanted to just touch on that real quick. Richard loves Westerns, like I'm sure most of the people on this channel, on this live stream do. And he is actually pretty adept at leather work. I mean, you haven't been doing it that long, have you?
No, actually, it's all your fault.
Yeah.
When I started doing the channel, I was sticking to pretty much modern firearms and stuff, and then I was getting ready to go to a job in Florida, which is where I grew up. And a friend of mine, I was talking to him on the phone, and he said we have a mutual friend. He was a retired school teacher that shoots cowboy action shooting, and I thought, hey, there's another avenue I can explore with the cowboy action shooting. And so I thought, I called him up and talked to him for a couple hours. And I thought, I think I might want to give this a try. So I started looking for a holster, and I find the holster I want, and it's like $1,200. I'm thinking, I'm not spending $1,200 on a holster. It's too much money. Right. So I ended up this was actually my second holster. I don't know how well you can see that, but
ooh, yeah, I can see it. It's good.
The first one was just one of the kits from Tandy Leather, and I put that together and stamped the pattern in and everything, and I thought, hey, I kind of like this, so I'll make my own holster. So that got me started in leatherwork. So I didn't want to spend $1,200 on a holster. Over the last couple of years, I probably got way more than that in tools and materials and everything.
Right.
But I learned a new skill and acquired another hobby.
I tell you, here's a full circle thing about old Santee here. This vest, Richard made for me. It is from the same material and the same cut as Russell Crowe's vest in 310 to Yuma that he played the role of Ben Wade. It's one of my favorite characters. His holster, which Richard, I showed that, he made that. He made 2 of them. He made 2 of those, right?
I did. This is the finished one.
Yeah, it's hard to just look at the hand of God on there. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very nice. You did a great job with that.
Thank you.
There's a gentleman that I've mentioned before named Will Gormley, and he made a pattern because he's actually the one who built that leather holster for the movie.
Yep.
I don't know, like 10 of them or something like that for the movie. Go ahead.
That's where I got this pattern from, and I tried to follow it as closely as possible. I did not dye it like he did, which I don't know if you've looked at that.
Yeah, so Will Gormley basically, I guess the people in the movie wanted something that looked more distressed, and you can do that with dye, like normal dye, but
Mhm.
he has this big rust tank in the back of his yard, and it's not just rust; it's other things, but it's part of like a vinegaroon mixture where it's a chemical reaction that reacts with the leather to turn it black.
Yeah.
But he uses mostly rust in that. So
Yep.
when you dunk it and you take it out, it has this uneven, weathered look to it, like a brownish black or gray even. So hard to achieve that if you don't have a big tank in your backyard with metal shavings in it. So yeah. Anyway,
And I don't know that I
really
would.
hard.
I don't know that I would get the same results he did. You know, I don't know. He doesn't say in there how long he put it in there. You know, if it was a day. Or,
Chinese secret.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not going to tell us.
No.
But yeah, it's really great. And so that's how I kind of got into leather work. Is I thought, I'm not finding the exact holster I want anywhere on the internet, and I didn't know exactly what I wanted. So I decided I'd make my own holster, and I started. And I thought, boy, I really like this. This is fun.
Yep.
And then Will Gormley's holster pack came out, and I bought it right away. And I built the Hand of God holster for myself, but I didn't do it like you did because I'm not really very good at tooling, and you are. So if you guys are really interested in leather work, go to Will Gormley's website, willgormleymaker.com, I think. Check out some pattern packs. You'll learn a lot.
The only thing I have not learned is how to do that braid or the hammer thong.
Yeah, I thought you did do that though, didn't you?
I did on the other one. I did a little bit different than what he did. But for some reason, there's 4 strands on there. I can't figure it out. I'll have to keep practicing with it. But
Yeah. I'm not really good with looking at pictures of that stuff. Somebody asked me the other day, how do you tie these ties, these bandanas? And I said, I'm looking at illustrations of people. I don't get it. No, I need somebody to show me.
Yep.
I barely tied my tie for prom. And for homecoming, I had a clip on.
There you go.
Did you?
I don't even remember. It was a long time ago.
That was a long time.
I think it was an actual tying tie because I was in a club in high school that we had to wear ties in.
Oh, you were in a fancy club, huh?
No, it was an industrial arts club, believe it or not, but we had to wear a tie.
Huh. Wow, interesting. Okay. Well, do you see any of your people in here, by the way?
I haven't been looking too close. I have to scroll through. I think I did. You?
Yeah, I see some, and I'm sorry if I'm trying to check the comments out. As Squibload, who's in here right now, I want to do a shout out to him. I want to thank you for your help last week. It helped me a lot with trying to understand the whole mentality of live streams. And I've decided that I'm just going to drink through it. That's really what I can do. So, cheers. Oh, wait, here's something you have to understand. Now, go the opposite direction from where I am and clink my glass. There you go. Clink.
I got to find. There it is. Ready?
Clink. Good.
There you go.
Cheers. Really weird. I don't know why they don't just flip-flop that, but
I don't know.
Whatever. Anyway, so you've also built a holster for, well, you're in the process. I don't know if you're done with it. The Man with No Name, right?
That's that one. I have the actual holster part is done.
Yeah, the rough out and everything, right?
Yep, that's the rough out, and I actually treated it with olive oil. I did not use neat's foot oil, but you can use olive oil, and you don't have to worry about it rotting or anything because the way the olive oil is, it won't grow mold on it and stuff. And I did the belt for it. I did not have a pattern for this one, so I'm just trying to look at the pictures online and stuff and make it. And I did the belt, and when I did the gunfighter stitch pattern that's on it, which is kind of like half circles and little diamonds, I made it too big.
Oh.
So I've got a belt.
That's a lot of leather. Are you going to remake it, or are you just going to live with it?
I actually cut out 2 blanks when I did it, so I've got another one that I.
All right, yeah. So have you actually made the gun belt before? Is this your first one?
No, I've made a couple.
You made one for Hand of God, yeah.
This is the one I use for the cowboy action shooting. I got the Ruger Vaqueros in it.
Did you weave those or stitch those?
What's that?
Did you weave them or stitch? Oh, you stitched them.
I stitched those on her, and that's a pain. That is.
Oh God, yeah. Makes me want to have another shot.
the turquoise and silver. It's faux turquoise, but you know, the look I was going for. Since I shoot B Western, it can be a little flashier. It doesn't have to be, you know, period correct with that. And I got the Ruger Vaqueros in there.
Okay.
Got the little turquoise.
I see that. Yeah. Good. It's good. No, I think it's good. So
and that one, I actually put suede lining on the inside of it there too, so it doesn't slide around on your hips when you're wearing the holster. And I made the belt for the Hand of God rig too, and it's got the same pattern on it all the way around. A little hard to see, but
no, I can see it. It's good. So I made a leather belt a little while ago, and I thought, well, I'm going to weave it, you know, and it's going to be easier for me. And I made it with 44 bullet loops because I wanted it to go completely around. Yeah. Probably by 25, my hands were hurting so much from forcing leather through those holes that I decided this was a bad idea. Not to mention, you guys, Glenn Gold, if you've seen some of my videos, he's the old man with no teeth that goes, hey!
Oh, yeah.
Glenn Gold started laughing at me when I wore it, saying, now you know why nobody wears those, because they're too heavy. And he was right. It had all those bullet loops in it, and it kept sliding down. I had to keep pulling it up.
You got to put suede on the back of it. It keeps it from sliding down.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't I? Yeah. That's more sewing, and I just don't want
this holster here, I have the suede back on it, so it is stitched all the way around the ends. That is, I think I figured there was 27 feet of thread just to go around the belt itself.
Yes, the answer to that TBNTX is yes, that is authentic for the time period. They did have bullet loops that went all the way around. That's all I can say about it. I'm going to guess that they were hiking their belts up a lot. So
probably
maybe
suspenders just to hold the belt up.
Right. I had a friend who was an older cowboy action shooter who was starting to lose his rear end, I guess, as older people do. And his belt kept dropping down. So he actually devised a little leather loop to hang around one of the belt loops in the back of his pants to keep it up. So funny. He's like, you should do it. I said, well, I don't have that problem just yet, but
just remember that if you get older though, so you can add one to it.
Right. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah. So what other plans do you have for your vests and or your gun belts?
I've got another vest I'm working on right now. It's kind of the Doc Holliday from Tombstone. Val Kilmer played Doc Holliday. And there's this red vest he's wearing with this gold pattern on it. I could not find that material, and I looked everywhere for it. And I found something that was pretty close to it. And I started making that vest. I haven't finished it yet. I do that a lot. I start a lot of projects that I haven't finished. So it gives me something to do when the weather's bad or whatever. But I want to do that, and I want to do his holsters too, because he wore two different holsters, and he carried two guns, one for each of you. And he carried a Colt 38 Lightning double action, and that one, Cimarron makes a reproduction of it. But the one that Cimarron makes is a single action, the single action army, and it's wrong. I try to keep it as close to the movie as I can, and so I want to get an actual Colt Lightning. They're hard to find and usually in bad shape. Even Doc Holliday said that gun kept his gunsmith in the money because he was always working on it.
It's my understanding that they actually did use a real one in some shots for that movie.
Yes.
I just don't know which shots. I'd have to go back and look. But
and the 38 Lightning, he always carried in his pocket or in his belt. He never carried it in a holster. So when you buy the one from Cimarron, it comes with a shoulder holster, and he never carried that one. I've watched the whole movie multiple times, and he never carries the Colt Lightning in the shoulder holster. He carries his single action army in there.
Oh, interesting. Oh, I guess Well, I also have gotten a lot of questions. I don't know about you, but I've got a lot of questions about that pattern for that shoulder holster, which is a little different.
Yep.
And I have not found a pattern for it. I think you just kind of got to make it up. It's really just straps, isn't it? Straps on a holster.
No, it's got a specific pattern to it. You can go on. It's one of the or the auction sites that they auction off, movie star memorabilia and stuff. And that holster is on there, and it's got a really specific pattern to it. There's a lot of just grooves in it and a little scroll work pattern that's on it. It's not really fancy decorated, but it's a pretty specific pattern. And I've got a nice big printout of it. I've blown it up so I could see it really well. But it's going to be a fun one to make.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
That Scout Dog says, I use paper. Why do you have a Stormtrooper as your? Okay, whatever. I use paper cartridges exclusively. So what do I do instead of bullet loops? Well, you use paper bullet loops. No, I'm kidding. You would use a cartridge bag or a box or a pouch. I think this is the word I'm looking for. Yeah. So that you could stick them in. As a matter of fact, there's one called a Dyer pouch that was used during the Indian Wars that you could put on, and it actually had wooden holders for cartridges, but I think you could probably put paper cartridges in it. And if not, you could take the mold out and put paper cartridges in. But yeah, that's probably what you'd want to do. All right. Sorry to interrupt.
No problem.
So you're also going to make the Charlie Prince holsters or just the jacket?
I want to do the holsters. I want to get the guns. I want to do the jacket. I want to do the chaps. The whole 9 yards. Okay. I've got a lot of the Western guns that I want to do reviews on that I haven't done yet, such as the Man with No Name one,
right.
And the Hand of God rig from 310 to Yuma. But I don't have. I want to get as much of the stuff as I can. I don't have the vest anymore. You've got that. But
you have another one, don't you?
Yeah, I'm working on another one. Yeah. But I want the hat.
Get the vest back. Dirty Dan doesn't have it. Thank you, Bill Brazelton. You're awesome. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So I want to do the hat. I want to get the hat. I would like to try to make a hat. Actually, do the felting.
Charlie Prince's hat? Isn't it kind of like
Prince's, Russell Crowe's or Ben Wade's and
yeah,
name. I want to do that too. But
here's an interesting idea. Chris Pratt in the movie Magnificent Seven, the remake. Did you see it? Did you happen to notice that that's an exact hat duplicate of the Man with No Name hat?
I did not know that.
Exact duplicate.
Now you're going to make me go watch it again.
I thought, really? You couldn't adjust it just a little bit just so that people like me won't notice? But
the biggest problem I've got with hats is I've got a really big head, and it's hard to find a hat to fit it. This one actually says, I think it's a 7.5, but I've got a hat stretcher. So I've had to put it on there and really crank on it to get it to fit.
Really? What size are you? 7.5?
What's that?
Do you have a 7.5?
This one's a 7.5, but it's been stretched quite a bit. Usually 7 3/4 to 7 7/8 is about what I wear.
Wow. Jeez. Yeah, it is hard. So you got to get pretty much all your hats stretched, don't you?
Yes.
Gee whiz. Poncho and Lefty. That's funny. Somebody just asked about reenactment events. For the most part, they're all on hold until this whole thing is over. Drew from Living History Comes Alive, who's on here, is trying to get some started up in the Michigan area where he is. So you might want to check with him. I really don't know if you can do that successfully. I don't know who would show up. I mean, I was at the supermarket today and I had to wear a mask just to fit in, I didn't feel right without a mask. So.
Did you have the bandana on though?
I had Bill Brazelton's bandana, and he was really annoyed with me when I got home. So, but the other one was in the wash. You got to wash these things. Apparently, they smell at me. It got me. Thanks.
They get clogged up, and then the stuff doesn't get through, so you're good.
I figure I'm breathing enough alcohol fumes that it's going to kill everything. Don't you think?
Right. Well, hand sanitizer on the outside, a little bourbon on the inside.
Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's pretty cool. So, what are some of the guns that you want to talk about? We don't have to talk about just Western. Let's talk about some of the guns that you're looking forward to reviewing in the future. What's going on with that?
I've got a couple more. This whole coronavirus thing has.
What coronavirus thing?
You've seen it.
Oh, that thing, yeah.
Yeah, that thing. It's kind of put a damper on I have a friend of mine that has a lot of different guns that I want to review, but we can't get together to do the exchange because he works at a different job site than I do, and we're just not able to do that now. Hopefully, here in the future, when things get back to normal, the chain of supply will get restored, and I'll have a bunch more to do. But I've got a couple more that I'm getting ready to do next weekend. I'll be doing one on a more modern rifle. It's a Howa, and I haven't done a review on a Howa yet.
On a what? I'm sorry?
Huh?
What was it again?
A Howa, Howa. It's actually the same company that makes Weatherby. They're a Japanese company.
Oh, interesting.
But,
wow.
Yeah. There's a lot of things I didn't know until I actually got to doing this, who makes what guns and everything. And
Yeah.
I always thought Weatherby, it's a nice American firearm, but apparently it's not. Japanese.
All of Weatherby's manufactured in Japan?
I don't know that for sure, but I know that I looked at a Weatherby the other day. I asked the guy, I said, do you have any Howas in here? And he hands me a Weatherby. I said, no, this is a Weatherby. And he goes, it's made by Howa. And then I look on there and sure enough, it's made by Howa.
Huh.
But that's the thing, when I'm looking at a rifle, that's when I find out the different things about it, who makes it, where it's made.
Well, that's fun, right? You enjoy that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Winchester I just did is made in Turkey. Winchester's been around since 1830s, I think.
Winchester?
Yeah.
40s,
somewhere around there.
Yeah, I think so. But I think more 50s. Wow, I just did a video on that. You think I know? Now I'm not sure. I'm getting it mixed up with Colt. So somebody here will chime in, I'm sure. But yeah, pretty old company.
Yep. And then here I got one Winchester that was made in Turkey.
That was the one you just did a review on, right?
Yep.
How did you feel? I saw that a lot of commenters were complaining about the plastic in it. How did you feel? Did you feel it was okay?
I don't know yet. There's been a lot of advances in plastic over the years. I've only fired about 250 rounds through it. Hopefully I'll fire a couple thousand through it, and then we'll see how it holds up. And I'll back to an update video and say, hey,
You know what I'd like to see you do at some point if you can get your hands on one, but I don't want you to buy one. Is Uberti? Wait, is it Uberti? It's Uberti or it's Pieta is making that one with a folding firing pin. I guess it engages when you cock the hammer back.
It's a single action army.
Yeah.
I did see
a fire pin though. It's called something else, retracting or something.
It's almost like a safety, like kind of like on the Vaqueros. They've got a transfer bar of safety in there.
Right, but this is different. There's not a transfer bar.
It's the actual fire
tucks away like a scared child. So I just wasn't sure if you knew about it or if you were going to do a review on it.
I think
it's a gun. It's just weird, right?
I think it's one of the Cattleman revolvers that does that. I'm not sure, but I did see something about it, but I couldn't tell you for sure. But some of the other ones, like this one is, it's actually the fixed firing pin in it, so it does stay there. So you want to do the cowboy load in it if you're going to carry it around, But yeah, I did see something on that. I have not looked into them yet, though.
Pat Putnam says that Weatherby still manufactures in Paso Robles, California, but the Howa, which is based in Turkey, I don't know if it means it's manufactured in Turkey or if it's manufactured in Japan. So either way, not in America. So
right.
Yeah. It's interesting because gun owners specifically, in my opinion, gun owners really have an issue with non-American guns.
But if you're looking into any of the old cowboy guns, if you want a reproduction, they're going to be made overseas, just about all of them.
My shotgun is Chinese made. So,
yep.
I don't know the name of the company now, but yeah, it's affordable,
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So
I shoot the Stoger Coach gun, and that's made in Brazil.
Oh, do you? Yeah. My lever action rifle is made in Brazil too.
Yep, mine too.
Yeah. Does yours have the nice dark walnut, like really dark wood?
It's been a while since I've seen it, but
Knock the dust off.
it's real dusty wood right now.
It's dusty wood, right? Yeah.
Mine is the Rossi 92.
Yeah.
That's a lever action I use.
94. So yeah.
But
I used to have a Winchester when I did cowboy action shooting. I used to have a Winchester 94, and it had that transfer. No, not transfer. It had that safety on the receiver. So you had to put the safety in order to shoot it. And it put that big red-orange button on there. Orange button on there. I hated it. And my friend said to me, the friend with the bullet loop with the pants, the guy. He said, "I'll trade you for my Rossi." Well, wait, was it a Puma? Either way, I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll take it." And so we traded. I really just hated that affectation of the safety on there. It bothered me.
Yeah. My Rossi has a little safety right on the top of the bolt, pretty much, and I've seen a lot of people take that safety off and take a 25 ACP bullet, and fits right in that spot there. They'll epoxy it in.
Oh, that's interesting. Yes, I plan on doing an episode about the Arizona Rangers. As a matter of fact, somebody on my channel named Arizona Red, who you've seen, is a former Arizona Ranger. But every time we get together, we don't talk about anything Arizona Ranger related. We get off topic, so that's what friends do. So I'll try to pin him down and get that done. I promise. So yeah, And by the way, one of the worst. I'm going to say this: one of the worst Western TV shows is 26 Men. So
have not seen it.
It's about the Arizona Rangers, Richard. 26 men. Da, 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 da. Something in the Arizona territory. Yeah, it's not good. Anyway, yeah, but Arizona Rangers were amazing. They because what a lot of people ask me, I'm just going to throw this in. A lot of people ask me is, well, the Old West was done by 1899. Well, not really. At least in Arizona territory, the Arizona Rangers were reestablished in the 1900s because there was so much outlaw traffic in the state that they had to squelch it. So up until the statehood in 1912, it was still the Wild West out here. So I'm not sure how it was in Pennsylvania, but I'm going to guess you guys had it all taken care of over there, right?
Well, I actually live in Ohio, but
Ohio. Wait.
Yeah.
I thought it was Pennsylvania.
I'm real close to Pennsylvania. Real close. I can be in Pennsylvania in probably 30 minutes or so.
Okay, all right. Well,
I'm right there.
You seem not like a jerk. You're awesome. Thanks. But yeah, for some reason I was thinking it was Pennsylvania. I don't know why.
I seen on here C. Sarver, I think it was. He said 25 caliber casing, not a bullet. You are correct. I might have said 25 ACP bullet in there, but what I meant is the casing. They kind of cut it off, so it's just the rim and the primer that sticks down in where the safety is on the Rossi 92s. I just happened to catch a glimpse of that on there, so I figured.
Oh, good catch. Yeah, somebody says Arizona is still the Wild West. Yeah, well, yeah.
I was out there a couple of years ago working a job and absolutely fell in love with the place.
Oh, really?
Working in Phoenix. I did get a chance to go over to Superstition Mountains, did a little bit of hiking on there on the 4th of July. And then when I left there, I had to go to Austin, Texas. So I stopped by the aircraft graveyard just outside of Tucson there.
Yeah, right.
And did that whole tour there. I had 2 days to make it from Phoenix to Austin. So I stopped and took that tour and loved it.
That's cool. So some of you don't know, we have Davis Monthan Air Force Base is here in Tucson, and it has a graveyard. They call it the graveyard. And it's basically A-10s all the way. God, I don't even know all the planes they have, but they're all sitting on a tarmac waiting to be used. And
all the ones that
they decommission them. They paint them white so that they will reflect the sun. And I guess when they get commissioned, they put engines in them and turn them back on and get them all painted up.
Yep.
I don't really know.
I went to the museum part, then I took the bus tour over to the military museum, and yeah, you can see them all out there, all sealed up and everything. Now that was before I discovered your channel. Otherwise, I would have swung by Tucson there.
I'd have taken you to old Tucson studios.
Oh, I'd love to get out there.
Did you go? Did you go? Have you been to Old Tucson Studios?
I did not. I did not.
Oh, yeah, that's a treat. That's a treat, especially for somebody who's seen John Wayne movies. So that's fun. Yeah.
Wasn't part of Tombstone filmed there too? The church scene at the beginning?
Well, actually, more than one scene was filmed there. But yes, the Tombstone, the scene where they shot at the very beginning of the movie where the cowboys shot the Mexican wedding couple and the entire wedding party.
Right.
Yeah, that was filmed right there at Old Tucson. Yeah. So, yeah, next time you're down here, we'll go.
Yep.
I still have a little pull there. I can get you in, but they will tackle me at the front gate and pin me down. But you can take the tour, and it'll be fun for you. So
right,
yeah,
I did get over to when I was in Phoenix. I did get over to the mining town of Goldfield, and you did a video.
Ooh, yeah,
that a while back. I didn't do much of the tour there. I mostly went across the street and hiked in the mountains. And I went over there and got me an ice cream to cool down. It was hot out.
Yeah, it was.
4th of July is miserable in Phoenix.
Yes, it is. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you didn't hike too far. Every year, somebody seems to die trying to find the Lost Dutchman mine or hiking up in the Superstition Mountains, which is where that is. And people never take enough water. They just don't understand. You know what? I don't understand. I know that it's bad to do that, but I would never know how much I would need to carry in order to go out there.
Right.
I'm not sure you can carry enough. Because up here, when the dry heat hits you, you don't even know you're dehydrated. You just think it's hot. So anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry I interrupted you.
I took a quart of water with me. I sipped it, and when I got half a quart, that was it. I turned around and started going back. So that was my timer to tell me how far I could go. But once I got up a little higher elevations, there it was nice and cool and everything. But I had to
find any gold.
I did not find any gold. Nothing.
Would you tell me if you did?
Maybe.
Okay.
I would not be in Ohio right now. I would be back in.
So, that's an interesting story. My brother has been doing a lot of genealogy in our family and found out that my great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather, probably not that many, went out to the gold fields in California and found gold. Do you have any relations that did that? Have you checked back in your history to find out if any Bentoskis went out west?
No. I mean, I've got relatives that live out in California and stuff now, but my genealogy doesn't go back in the United States probably any earlier than the late 1800s, 1870s, 80s, somewhere around there.
And from where again?
Poland.
Poland. Okay. Are you 100%? I mean, is there a mix in there somewhere?
Well, don't tell my mom, but I say I'm 100%. She says, no, you're not.
Your mom says that?
Yeah, because
she knows more than anybody, but
she's not Polish. So I tell her I'm 100% Polish, and she says, no, you're not. And I said, yes, I am. Okay.
She gets really upset. What is she?
German.
Okay, well,
So when I
World War II, they were all friends at one point.
Right. When I do the World War guns, it might be a little conflict there.
It may be. You know what? That would be one I'd like to watch if you ever get your hands on a Luger.
Yes.
Or a P-38. That would be kind of cool.
I will eventually. I don't know when, but hopefully I will.
That would be so neat if you did that. That would be cool.
I want to do. I've got an old Mosin Nagant, so I want to do a Russian American, because at that time we were allies, in World War One. So I want to do a Mosin Nagant and a whatever the American one was at that time, and I want to do another little skit with it, as it playing both parts as an American soldier and a Russian soldier in the in a trench somewhere.
That would be cool. I would really enjoy that. Yeah. Talk to me before you do that. I have some resources for you.
Okay.
It's just World War II trench.com. It's all the. I'm kidding. We'll find something for you. The Mosin Nagant is one of these guns that is big in the gaming community, because in pretty much every World War II gun you can find one. So I get these young 15-year-old gamers all the time. They're like, "Hey, can you do one on the Mosin Nagant?" No, not really. I can't, but you can.
I can.
You can.
It's still a small caliber, even though it's 762 by 54.
Is that right?
R.
What was the last part?
54R. You have to make sure you say 54R.
Why?
I don't know. It's just,
Oh,
you'll get corrected if you just say 762 by 54. Someone will say, no, it's 762 by 54R.
yeah, well,
Russian.
okay. I understand.
I have made mistakes in my videos, and they get pointed out, and I'm okay with that. You know, I can
Well,
take it.
that's part of the deal. I've made mistakes too. I said once 45 long Colt, and I was corrected many times by gun enthusiasts. And I did some research and found out that even though it wasn't called 45 long Colt, there was a company that produced a box that had 45 LC on it. So
Right.
from the 1800s.
That's so it wouldn't get confused with the 45 that they used.
You're there.
Dude, there was a shorter one too.
That's it. That's
Yep.
the reason that's the reason we all think there was a long Colt, because the Schofield round, the Smith and Wesson round, was smaller. It was actually called a Smith and Wesson short. No, I may be wrong about that. It was actually called a short round because the Schofield couldn't take the Model 3 couldn't take the longer Colt cartridge.
Yep.
But this person argued that there was never actually called the long Colt. So, and he's probably right. But yeah, we're always learning.
Yep.
So everybody, please bear with us. We're always learning. And if you have information, you can help us. And if we have information, we're obviously helping you because you continue to watch our stuff. So, right?
I hope so.
Yeah, absolutely. By the way, I noticed that you're lacking a mustache. I wasn't going to say anything, but did everything go all right this morning when you were shaving? Or
Yeah, this will change as much as my underwear. I may have a mustache, may have a goatee, may have a full beard.
Wait, you changed your underwear?
Well, when I change the facial hair, then I change the underwear. So it could be a few weeks or so,
But you turn it inside out, right? Once a week?
Well, yeah.
Okay. Okay. I want to make sure I'm doing okay.
Try to keep the old West thing going, Bathe on Saturdays. And
here's something I learned today. I wanted to share this with you because you probably know about it, but for some reason it blew my mind. Somebody posted, a friend of mine named Ron Lacaria, who was a stuntman in Old Tucson, posted a picture of a mustache spoon.
I did see that.
You saw that?
Only when you posted it today.
Well, I'm already bidding on one right now because I got to have one. But apparently, with those of you who have mustaches, you know how tough it is to drink or to eat soup or stews. Yeah. Hence the mustache spoon. Yeah. Yep. Apparently, it had a little ridge on it with a little hole in the bottom so that you could slurp your soup without getting
something to keep it up there.
Yeah.
So it can get down in the spoon.
Yeah. There's also mustache mugs out there. I knew about that, but yeah, my wife would probably laugh at me if I had either one of those things, especially if I brought it to a restaurant. Right, pull out my little spoon.
There you go.
Get my mustache spoon.
Is it at least silver?
Yeah, the ones I've seen that are post 1940 that are on eBay are silver plated.
Okay.
But the original ones are probably silver. But good luck finding one of those. They were also called etiquette spoons. I guess slurping was not etiquette, or maybe it was. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. But so, what's the future for the channel? Tell me about that. What are you planning on doing other than some of these guns we talked about?
I don't know. I do want to start another channel where I show some of the leather items I make or the vests I make, any of the extra items I make for this channel. And I have already created it. I haven't posted anything on it yet, and I'm working on filming different videos for making the vest like you're wearing, other vests I'm making. I do have an Amish hat, and I have grown just the beard.
But you're using technology.
They don't know that.
Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
They're not. The Amish aren't watching me right now. They're not going to rat me out. At least I hope not.
Excellent point.
But I do live near a whole lot of Amish. There's the horse and buggies I see all the time. And
well, let me ask you something about that. I was once in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, and it was Mennonite, which is apparently very close to Amish.
Yeah.
They just have a much longer name, apparently. But they have a living history village in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. It is the most cool thing I've ever been to. And I had a sugar cookie that has lived with me to this day. I'm a cookie fiend. Best sugar cookie I've ever eaten was a Mennonite sugar cookie. Have you tried the Amish sugar cookies?
I have not. I have had a lot of the cheeses and like they call trail bologna and stuff.
Wait, what? What was that last thing?
Trail bologna.
What is that?
It's like I guess kind of like a summer sausage.
Oh, okay.
You know, it's just
Is it good?
snack food, hors d'oeuvre type food or whatever. But and a lot of the cheeses, a lot of different things from
Now, I know that the Amish are famous for making furniture and any kind of wood objects. You made, first of all, guys, if you didn't already notice, he's quite the craftsman. You made the bar too, right? That you're at right now.
I did. I made the bar. I made the backer. I made the saloon doors.
It's amazing. How did you get a history of construction? How did you do that? Is this something you've always done as a kid? Your dad teach you?
Yeah, kind of. My dad did roofing, and when I was growing up, we remodeled houses we lived in, you know, and did the drywall and stuff. So I picked a lot of that up from him. I'd never seen him make furniture. I did do a little bit of furniture restoration in high school. I took a shop class, and you could bring a piece of furniture there and restore it.
Oh, very cool. Wow. I'm impressed. Here's an interesting from Scout Dog. What about a Colt carbine? I've been asked about that before. Are you talking about the revolving rifle? Or is there a different Colt carbine?
The only one I can think of.
Is the revolving?
Because he did say something about with the attachable buttstock on it.
Sorry, coronavirus. Sorry about that. You won't get it.
Okay.
Well, COVID-19.
But because he said something about with the attachable buttstock, so I'm assuming it's like what Lee Van Cleef used, with rifle butt attachment.
That was a revolving one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
You can do
one on that. I do.
You can do the black powder one without having to go through the ATF and getting a $200 tax stamp.
They make a repro for that?
Yes, I think it is a Cimarron Firearms. I think you can get one on there. But you can't attach it to an 1873 because then it becomes an SBR.
Really?
Yeah. So you can, if you pay the $200 tax stamp, do all the paperwork, wait for your approval, and get your stamp.
Huh. Is that tax stamp? Once again, I'm not as into the gun thing as you are, as far as the knowledge of the legal stuff. But is the tax stamp, does that also cover things like sawed-off shotguns?
It's one tax stamp per device. So if you want a sawed-off shotgun, you have to get an SBS tax stamp.
Right. You know, more people, Dirty Dan told me that. I'm not sure why he would know that. Anybody? No? No. Yeah. Yeah, he told me that because he has one of those.
If you look at in Tombstone when Kurt Russell's sitting at the what is that game? Pharaoh. He's sitting at the Pharaoh table and he's got underneath the table there. Yep. That would be a SBS, short barrel shotgun. So if you wanted one of those in your collection, you would have to apply for it, get the $200 tax stamp. Now, in one of the other live streams you did, I think you guys were talking about, it was with Living History Comes Alive, the Howdah, which is, I believe it is a black powder double barrel shotgun that's real short. Black powder is not considered a firearm. Yeah,
he calls it a pistol. He said it was a, Drew, help me here. Did you say it was a 58 caliber? He'll chime in here if he's still watching. He may be smoking or drinking, I don't know, but I think it's like a 58 caliber. It was considered, I believe, a pistol, but you could load it with shot.
Right.
So, and as we know, here's the big mystery, right? As we know, shooting a short-barreled shotgun, it doesn't make it more powerful, and it spreads the pellets far and wide. So the chances of hitting more than one person are greater, but you're only going to hit them with a pellet that big. So,
right.
Are you killing them? Probably not. But
are you stopping them?
Well, yeah. In a barroom situation, it's sure going to make a difference.
Yeah.
44 caliber double barrel Howdah. Yeah.
Howdah.
Or Howdah, I think is how, or Houdah. Houdah?
Howdah, you pronounce that?
The whole thing.
I think it's pronounced Howda.
Howda. Yeah. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it. You're awesome. Yeah. I thought actually about buying that gun, but Cap and Ball and myself, we don't get along very well. So, do you have any Cap and Ball firearms, Richard?
I do. I have a 1858 Remington. Of course, it's a reproduction. I can't afford the real deal.
Yeah.
A few weeks ago, I picked up a 1862 Police Revolver. It's a 5-shot Cap and Ball. And I started to film a video with it, but I had so many problems with the primers getting jammed up in the hammer that I just eventually just stopped doing the video.
Dustin Weiniger, who is one of my friends, he had that same problem with a different firearm. And I've talked to some other people that said that there are mods, like modifications you can make to stop that from happening. But I don't know if it stops at 100%. Have you heard of that?
I have not, but I need to look into it because it's a really cool firearm. Well, I'm sorry, it's a really cool Cap and Ball pistol because it's not considered a firearm. But and it only being a 5-shot is really neat too. And it's a good looking pistol. But I really like to get it functioning like it should be. And with it being a police revolver, it does not function well enough to be used in that situation.
Is it the one with the fluted cylinder or no?
Yes.
It is. Yeah. Yeah. Why did they do that on just that model, I wonder? Do you know?
No clue.
Yeah, I don't know. But that's interesting. Yeah, those are pretty cool guns. A lot of lawmen carried those.
Yep.
Obviously. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I think Dallas Studenmeyer, who was a Texas lawman, I think he carried one of those that was converted to cartridge. Yeah, I may be wrong. He did carry a conversion, which is pretty interesting. But those guns are great. I used to have an 1860. I loved it. I just didn't love loading it. My patience level for that was very short, and it took me 30 seconds to fire 6 cylinders, and it took me 10 minutes to load it.
Yeah,
that's stupid. So I sold it, but they're really cool guns.
I have a couple flintlocks too. I got the Pennsylvania rifle.
Oh yeah.
And then that one I dressed up in 1700s clothing with that one. And then I have a flintlock pistol too. I enjoy shooting those, but like you said, it's for that little bit that you get to fire it. It's a lot of work to get it ready.
I went to a range with some friends of mine, and we shot a flintlock, and it's surprisingly accurate and a lot of fun to shoot. But yeah, the funny thing is that it always took 3 or 4 tries before we actually got the flint to ignite the powder in the barrel. So I don't know if that was his problem or if that was the gun. But I kept thinking about all these Revolutionary War soldiers who were sitting there, in the middle of a battle.
Right.
Going, well, damn, maybe I need to add more power while the British are running towards them, or walking, I guess.
Right.
Under pressure, that must be really difficult.
Now, when I got my Pennsylvania rifle,
Go ahead.
When I got my Pennsylvania rifle, the worst thing I did was I didn't have any actual black powder, so I had Pyrodex, which I used in the 1858 Remington, which is fine in there, but for a flintlock, it's absolutely terrible for it. The burn rate is really slow with it. So when they call them a flinch lock, that one, it was a long time between click and pow. When I did the pistol, I actually had black powder, and it's a world of difference on it. So I got a lot of people that commented on there, never use Pyrodex in a flintlock. And yeah, I can understand why.
Really? Okay.
The ignition is terrible with it.
Well, we used
fired every time.
We used to use Pyrodex in our Old West gunfight group, and we just didn't like it as much. It just
with the cap and ball stuff, the ignition time is a lot better. But with the flintlock, it's horrible.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Black powders, just as soon as you hit it, it pretty much goes. But Pyrodex in a flintlock is
Okay. So now you use black powder. Do you use any brand, anything you can get, or do you use a specific brand like GoX or?
I think it's GoX that I've got right now. I've only got 1 pound of it.
Yeah.
And I bought it, I bought a pistol and I thought, well, I got to buy the right stuff for it and everything to do a review. I'm not a professional in any of these firearms. I've got a lot of experience with a lot of firearms, and I can give you my opinion as just a I don't know, layman's terms or whatever, say that this, I like it, you might like it too. So a lot of times when I'm doing these videos, it's new for me too.
Yeah. That's what I like about your channel, is that you're bringing us into your world of experience. So, and I mentioned that before. So
right.
If any of you watch my channel, you'll like Richard's channel. He's very knowledgeable. He speaks with authority, which is really good. It's kind of important. You're talking about guns. And he's got some fun. So I think that's good. Real quick, before we sign off, I wanted to touch on the black powder stuff a little bit more, real quick. You said Pyrodex is not good for flintlocks.
Right.
And use whatever. So first of all, I want to tell some of the viewers out there who are in different countries, maybe. I don't know how it is getting black powder there, but it's considered an explosive here in Arizona and America.
Yep.
America, it's considered an explosive. So in Tucson, that I know of, there's only one person who you can buy black powder from. One person. All the rest are not real black powder.
Right.
Which is misleading, because if you go to Sportsman's Warehouse, it says black powder on the box, but it's not really black powder. It's copy of black powder.
Does it say black powder and then in small letters say substitute?
Right. Right. Exactly. So you may be able to get a pound at a time. I don't know if you could buy more. I would imagine you're probably going to raise some suspicion if you buy 10 pounds of it, right?
I would imagine, yes. Yeah.
Can we get your driver's license?
I actually there's a place in Ohio called the Log Cabin, and it is a.
Oh, do they make syrup?
Not exactly.
Oh.
They are a black powder firearms. They are the pros.
Really?
They have a museum there that is unbelievable. They've got firearms in there from the earliest black powder firearms that are in there, and so that's I went there and got my black powder. It's probably about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive for me, but it's just amazing just to go in there and see the place.
Well, here's something. So you are pretty intense when you do your rifle and gun cleaning. I assume that's true not just with videos, but that's true in real life. How do you feel about the difference in cleaning smokeless powder from black powder?
Smokeless powder, you can let it go if you want. It's not going to damage the firearm. Black powder or even Pyrodex, clean it right away. It will damage the metal. The sulfur in there reacts with the metal, and it doesn't matter if it's stainless or carbon. It's going to react with it. It's going to start pitting it immediately, pretty much.
That's an excellent tip, and one that I'm going to cover at some point. One of my reenactor buddies let a gun go, and he forgot to clean it after the last shooting event we had. And by the time he went to it 3 months later, it was all rusted out.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it made the gun look good when he cleaned it, but it's not good for the gun, right? How long do you think it takes for pitting to take place? Do you think that's
a day?
What's that?
A day.
You pitted it in a day?
It'll start pitting in a day.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, it might not be very big pits. It might not be enough to cause any harm to the gun. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
But it'll start it immediately, pretty much.
Wow. That's impressive. That's interesting. Wow.
I know this from experience.
Right. Yeah, that's it. When I first shot the same one I was telling you about, that 1860, I took it home and I cleaned it what I thought was thoroughly. But the problem that I did is I didn't wait for the water to dry completely, because I used hot water and soap, which is what I was told to use. Nowadays, I used Simple Green. I don't know if you use that Simple Green to spray it down the barrel but the trick is to wait for it to dry, because I put oil and solvent on it before it was completely dry and it rusted. And the guy I sold it to said, "Well, I can see a little rust on here, so it's not worth as much." Yeah, he got me on that one. So, But hey, I think that's part of the problem. I
Right.
would imagine that a lot of the cowboy guns in the 1880s were probably had a little rust on them.
Oh yeah.
You
Yeah,
know?
because back then they were, even if they were a cartridge gun, they were still a black powder.
Yes, they were. Yeah, yeah, because smokeless didn't come out until the turn of the century, and even then, you had a lot of black powder people out there.
Yep.
You know? So
I've got a little revolver. It's a Rupertus Empire 22 short black powder revolver. It was made 1882, I think, somewhere around there. I can't remember. I'm missing a couple pieces on it. I would really love to get that thing fixed and actually do a review on it.
can you tell me once again what's it called? Rubitus Empire?
Rupertus, J. Rupertus Empire, 22 short spur trigger Derringer, pretty much, or revolver.
Okay, interesting. Huh.
And I picked it up for a song. It was in really bad shape, but it's another one that is black powder only. I can fire blanks in it. I don't have the lock to lock the cylinder on it, so it could be out of time if I was to fire.
My little Belgian one that I showed in the vest video. I don't know if you saw it sticking out of the vest pocket. It's a little Belgian folding trigger. They used to call it pardon me, ladies, a whore's gun, because it was small enough that a lot of prostitutes carried in their garters.
Right.
Or tied. They actually tied them to their inner garments too, so they could easily get to them. Anyway, it's a little 32 with a folding trigger. I love it, but it's broken. And I took it to a gunsmith, and he said, "Don't even bother. It's worth less than getting the parts to fix it."
Sometimes it's not about that, though.
Sometimes it's about just keeping the culture, right?
Yep.
Right. So, like you went and got no, wait, real quick before we sign off, because it's 4:05. I told you it would only be an hour. I lied to you. It's dinner time.
Uh-oh.
About the hand of
Hang on a second, I'm losing you. Hello?
I think you dropped out.
Oh, I can hear you now. You're not moving, though.
Well, I was going to do it, but so back online. That's a great picture of him, don't you think? Well, you look great. And be like, wow, that's a good place to freeze.
I think I may have lost you completely there. Yep. I don't know if I'm still on here. Did I just lose Santee?
Are you there?
There you are.
Wow. I actually think that was me. Sorry, everybody. We had a technical difficulty here at the, I think it was my household, right?
I don't know. I never lost. You froze, but that was it. I could hear you a little bit, but then.
All right. Where did I freeze? What was I saying?
You're going to ask me something, and that's about all I heard. Something about the hand of God.
Oh, where did you get it? Is that the Hand of God holster from Cimarron, or is it not the holster, the gun? The gun is, they call it the Holy Smoker, right?
Yes, they call the Holy Smoker from Cimarron.
Did you buy that gun, or did you buy just the grips?
I bought the whole gun. I have a local guy here that I deal with, and he got it for me. I ordered it through him and went and picked it up. The only thing I don't like is that crucifix that's on the grip is only on one side.
Right. There is a company that makes them on both sides.
There is somebody that makes just the grips for it.
Yeah. I thought about getting it, but I don't know. I think it looks good with the holster with the tooling. Otherwise, without the tooling like mine has, I think it's kind of overshadows it. So I like it on yours. Does it feel weird in your hand? I was just wondering.
Not really.
No.
Sorry about that. It's not like it sticks out too much. I don't know if you can see how.
Yeah, I can see. Just a little raised.
Yeah, but it's you don't really notice it. Maybe it enhances the grip a little bit.
What about the rattlesnake grip? How does that? Is it the same thing?
Same thing. That one actually is probably even less pronounced than.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's a lot smoother on there. Yeah, you don't hardly feel that at all.
Wow. Yeah. That's pretty cool. If you all haven't seen it, I know that a lot of people out there don't like the remake from 310 Yuma, and they like the original with Glenn Ford. And I can't remember the other gentleman's name. I'm so sorry. I know you're dead, but I can't remember your name. Anyway, both are good movies. I think you should watch them both if you get a chance, because you get the same character. You get the same Ben Wade, but just played two different ways. Obviously, they paid more attention in the remake to the guns and the violence that has made Ben Wade who he is. So I recommend seeing it. And oddly enough, the two leads are not even Americans, right? Russell Crowe's from Australia, and
Yep.
Christian Bale is from England, right? I don't know. Is he from Australia?
I don't know.
Either way, ain't from America, but it's cool. Great movie. Did you like the movie? You liked the movie, obviously, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I love the movie.
Yeah.
I have not seen the original all the way through. I've seen bits and pieces of it, little clips. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I have to tell you, Glenn, if you've not watched Glenn Ford is an amazing actor, was an amazing actor. He does justice to that part. He really does. That sort of psychotic, but really more manipulative part. He's really good at it. So you should watch it. But it's not nearly as good in the action department.
Griff said England. I'm not sure if he was referring to Christian Bale.
England. Okay. Thank you. Sorry. They very rarely use their accents unless you see them in interviews or something like that. So they don't really know. But yeah. But cool. Well, Richard, I've taken enough of your time. I know you have to go back and eat your barbecued ribs, right?
Maybe something like that.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for being on the channel. I really love it.
Thank you for having me. It was it's really enjoyable, and glad I got to be a part of it.
Well, I hope we do a collaboration. We were supposed to do one on the vest, but it just never worked out because. But we will do one at some point because your personality would go great with my channel. So, and I would definitely destroy yours. So maybe you shouldn't have me on yours.
No, it's no problem.
Okay, great.
I enjoy your channel. Like I said, when I was a kid, Saturday morning cartoons come on. I was right in front of the TV. Saturday mornings, I'm right there in front of YouTube waiting for you to post your video.
So I'm up there with Looney Tunes. Great.
You're way beyond that.
Yeah.
I don't even watch Looney Tunes anymore.
I don't think if you think it's on. I don't think it's on. It's great.
Too violent.
Well, cheers, and thank you for coming on the channel. Everybody go over to Small Caliber Arms Review. Watch him. He's awesome.
Thank you. Great.
We'll see you later, guys. Thanks a lot for watching.
Right.
Sign off.
Thank you. Oh, wait a minute. You forgot to like, share, and subscribe.
Please like, share, and subscribe, and
I'll see you on down the trail. I got to steal that.
not happy. Not happy.